Defending Conference Player of the Year Chris Dunn in 10th-ranked Providence in D.C. to take on Georgetown. Big East College Hoops on FS1 is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Be ready for anything winter throws at you at the Verizon Center. It's 10th-ranked Providence, unbeaten on the road this season at 5-0. And Georgetown, having won 7 of its last 10, roll into this one as we welcome you inside. Joe Davis, Greg Turner, big game for both sides. In Providence's case, trying to keep pace near the top of the conference standings. But for Georgetown, it's even bigger than that, Tariq. This is about building that NCAA tournament resume.
I think there's a small margin of error for Georgetown. They dug themselves in the hole early in the season, and now they're getting some momentum. In conference play, you see they're 6-2, but they have to continue to win games to build their resume for March. They have to continue to win at home, especially. Providence, on the other hand, one of the top teams in the country, coming off a loss. They're going to play with that sense of urgency.
Tonight's starting lineups are sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee and highlighted one of the best matchups at guard you will find in the country.
I can't wait to see this matchup. Chris Dunn, the best guard in the conference, no question, and Devontae Smith-Rivera, also very talented. He's the leader of this Georgetown team. That's the matchup to key on tonight.
We reached the halfway point of the conference season. Bradley Hayes and Ben Bentel to jump it off. And off we go with Georgetown looking for a big resume-boosting win, starting with it in the gray uniforms.
Providence will open it man-to-man, and they're going to kind of pack it in a little bit more to protect the paint and not get beat on the back door. Georgetown has a bigger size advantage, but look for them to play inside out.
And how about the game that they had on Tuesday, Tariq, coming from 11 down with 2.5 left, finished the game on a 15-3 run to beat Creighton 74-73 in a big swing game in the conference race. Bradley Hayes can't hit.
That was a huge comeback for Georgetown, and the sense of urgency was there that last 2 minutes.
Aaron Cartwright sees one spin out. Rodney Bullock the offensive rebound, and then a tie-out. We'll keep it on this end of the floor. Ed Cooley trying to take Providence to the NCAA tournament for the 3rd consecutive season. Last time Providence had that happen, the early 1970s. They're coming off a gauntlet in which they played 3 consecutive top 25 teams. They beat Butler, they beat Villanova, and they fell by 7 to Xavier on Tuesday.
This Providence team using their zone offense, Georgetown in the 2-3. And they're going to play that 2-3 to keep Dunn out of the paint and limit his penetration.
Cameron for 3, starting the scoring out of the court.
That's a good start for Georgetown. Cameron, their best outside shooter. And that's one of the concerns of Providence, guarding the 3. They have to do a better job of closing out and making those guys drive to the ball, to the rim.
Ben Bentel turns it over on his first drive to the hoop. John Thompson, the 3rd, 12th season at Georgetown. Of course, grew up around the program with his dad as the head coach for 3 decades, the early 70s into the late 90s. Chris Dunn knocked it away. One of the best in the country is getting his hand in passing lanes. Aaron Cartwright into the lane. Now Junior Lamamba. Lucky that Dunn could track it down.
Providence wants to play with pace, and they want to speed the game up. They're best in transition, but in the half court, they're trying to get the ball to the rim. Coach Cooley said that in the pregame to us, Joe. Attack the rim with aggressiveness and put the pressure on Georgetown's bigs.
Here's Bullock over Hayes. Tough shot that Bentel rebounds and steps on the baseline. His 2nd turnover in the first 2 minutes of this game.
Early on, the zone defense of Georgetown has been very good because they're closing out the gaps, not letting the ball get into the high post, and then they have Hayes with his size as a rim protector.
Here's Smith-Rivera defended by Dunn. That's the matchup we'll watch it for. And Smith-Rivera fires away a 3 that's cleared by Cartwright. Providence looks to push in transition. Kyron Cartwright can't finish. And out of the mess with it comes Isaac Copeland with a crossover on Cartwright. And a bounce into the post for Hayes. Rebound Bullock. Good pace to this one early. Chris Dunn, free throw line jumper. And that is becoming all too familiar of a thing for Providence fans, seeing that ball clink off the rim. They shot only 31% the loss against Xavier on Tuesday.
That's why easy transition baskets is so important in this game when you're struggling to find your shot.
Trey Campbell had a halfway down, popped out. Bullock for Dunn. And Providence has missed its first 6 shots from the field. Cameron out of the corner. Georgetown's not been much better. 1 for 6.
Both teams still trying to find a rhythm. Obviously, Dunn is going to control tempo for Providence, and he's so good at navigating through the seams, as we just saw there, drawing his first foul on Georgetown.
He's arguing that he was in the act of shooting, but they will say that it was on the floor and the inbound from the baseline. It's the 3rd game in 7 days for a Providence team that is trying to remain unbeaten on the road this year. 5-0 away from home. Bentel launches and hits. Ben Bentel, the Big East leading scorer, coming off his 4th consecutive 20-point performance.
That versatility is what makes him such a dangerous matchup. He's an inside-outside guy with power and strength to finish down low. You have to guard him on the perimeter as well and get a high hand, make him put it on the floor.
Back into Hayes with a hook shot over Bentel.
Well, his size and his touch allows him to get that jump hook off. No one can block it. And one-on-one, he has the advantage down low.
He goes baseline. Then Bentel with 5 in a row to tie the game.
Well, I don't think anyone can guard Bentel one-on-one either because of his quickness advantage. When he pulls the big man out like Hayes, he can drive right by him off the bounce.
That's an offensive foul, Tariq, on Hayes as they try to enter it into him.
Well, Hayes has struggled with foul trouble, and obviously it has a luxury, Georgetown does, to have a young man like Jesse Govan come in and back him up. But when you have 2 bigs like Hayes and Govan that are rim protectors, if you're Bentel and Dunn, you want to continue to attack the rim and try to get that high percentage shot while putting the pressure on those bigs to draw some fouls.
You mentioned Govan coming in. LJ Peak is in as well. 0 in gray for Georgetown. All right, bouncing for Bentel, who's got all 7 Providence points.
Well, early on, Xavier was struggling to find a rhythm with the zone offense. Now they're getting into the gaps. Nice job by Cartwright, drawing and getting that ball to the short corner.
And Govan sails it over Cameron's head to bring us to our first media timeout. Ben Bentel with all 7 points in this game for Providence, trying to move to 6-0 on the road this season.
The zone offense is going to be a key tonight versus this Georgetown 2-3, and Ben Bentel off to a strong start. 3-3 from the field, and right here is just a good play with the zone offense. And with the zone, Campbell drives through the paint but uses the ball screen to get into the gaps. Once he gets into the gap, he has to get over that screen so Govan doesn't have to step up. That allowed Bentel to get the wide open dunk.
And he's got all 7, Tariq, for this Providence team. Sure, you like having the top 2 scorers in the conference, and Bentel and Dunn, but that coolest thing is we got to have somebody else. Who is our 3rd scorer? Bullock is averaging double figures but has been inconsistent. Cartwright has had some flashes. Who is that 3rd and 4th source?
And he's still looking for that, and you mentioned Bullock as the primary candidate, and he is, but also Physique is coming off the bench, and Jalen Lindsey. One of those 3 has to give them double-figure scoring.
That's a Providence turnover off of Edwards' hands. You know, in the game on Tuesday against Xavier, those 2 guys, Dunn and Bentel, combined for 41 of the 68 points. Nobody else is in double figures, and that's been the equation in Providence's 4 losses. Copeland for 3. Fazekas quickly back up the floor and gets his shot rejected by Isaac Copeland.
Well, you see Providence wants to get the ball up quick, and although Fazekas doesn't get the layup, you see the pace that they're trying to play here. LJ Peak here, one of the better perimeter defenders, always trying to get in the passing lane.
Then Bentel off of the inbound play knocks down the jumper, and it's Bentel 9, Georgetown 5.
Bentel's in a good rhythm, and obviously, if you're Georgetown, you have to find a way to disrupt that, maybe put some more physicality on him and try to get him to put the ball on the floor rather than catch and shoot.
Copeland posting Bullock, and in the face-up game, drains the jumper.
Copeland's versatility is what you love because he's so skilled with the face-up game. He can jab you and knock down that jump shot. He has to be that second guy to take some pressure off of Smith-Rivera offensively.
Bullock goes by Govan to the rim for the first Providence points from somebody other than Ben Benton.
That's a good sign. Bullock has the ability to put the ball on the floor. They need his scoring to give them some balance offensively.
And they say that L.J. Peak was in the act of shooting, so 2 shots coming here.
Isaac Copeland, talented wing forward that can play with his back to the basket and face up. That nice little jab step gives him enough space over Rodney Bullock because you have to respect his driving ability. And all he needs is a little bit of airspace to elevate and knock down the jumper.
Officials just came together and decided that it was on the floor. You know, with Copeland, he's not been scoring lately, but John Thompson's been happy with the way that he's getting other parts of his game involved.
Well, he's a versatile guy that can also make plays for his teammates. Good passer, can put the ball on the floor.
Derrickson's first 3 won't go. He had a career-high 7 assists on Tuesday as Chris Dunn reigns in a 3.
But when he knocks down the long ball, he's virtually unstoppable because he can get to the rim at will. He's shooting that ball with a lot more confidence. When he gets his feet set, he's very good from the top of the key.
That one's tipped into the hands of Edwards. And numbers for Providence. Dunn lobs it off of the backboard. Bullock able to follow it and get fouled. Providence is doing exactly what Ed Cooley told us today, and that is hurrying the ball up the floor.
Well, it's all about Dunn and his presence of mind. Look at him looking around, scanning the defensive set. He sees no one stops the ball. The recognition and the ability to knock down that shot in transition makes him a special player.
It just 1 of 6 from 3 on Tuesday against Xavier. As a team, they were 7 for 34 from 3, and still only lost that game by 8.
Well, you called the game. I watched the whole game, and when you watch tape of Providence, they get so many great looks, even if they're not making the shots. The ability of Dunn to see the floor and put the ball right in a shooter's pocket. You can't ask for a better delivery. It's such a luxury to have a point guard with that kind of vision, that kind of ability to deliver the ball. The next part is guys just have to make shots, and that's what Ed Cooley talked about. Guys like Fazekas and Jalen Lindsey stepping up to make some jump shots.
Ben Bentil takes a rare seat. He went 3 games in a row without resting before he got a little bit of time on the bench against Xavier Tuesday. And big Quadri Smith comes in for him at 6'8", 285.
Georgetown trying to space the floor and really try to play 4 out 1 in with the backdoor action as well to feature Hayes.
And Hayes turns it over. Fazekas finds Dunn. Chris Dunn, 1-on-3, takes it inside and gets fouled on the way up.
Well, it started on the defensive end with the deflection by Quadri Smith, who's getting some quality minutes. But this is what Providence is really good at. Forcing turnovers. They're first in the Big East and converting or forcing turnovers. Average 15 forced turnovers per game. Chris Dunn continues to control tempo in the open court.
Adventure, it's in our DNA, the Discovery Sport. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Tariq, Chris Dunn put together the kind of season that over the last 15, 16 years has not been done in a major conference. 15 points per game, at least 5 rebounds per game, at least 5 assists, and at least 3 steals. The last time it happened 5 seasons ago.
He's an elite guard, and we haven't seen a guy with this kind of versatility, the ability to dominate the game in more than one aspect. It's not just the assists, it's not just the scoring, it's his length, it's his ability to disrupt defensively and get in passing lanes, and just be an all-around two-way player. He's an elite two-way guard, and I think he's good enough to start on the NBA level right now when he enters the draft.
And he now has 999 career points. I think we're going to see him hit 1,000 tonight. You thought that, there was a chance if he came out last year, like a lot of people thought he would be fine, but there may have been some D-League development in there. Well, you think, like you said, now, though, he's ready to be a starter day one.
No question about it. And, I think it was one of the wiser decisions for him to stay an extra year. And God Shamgod, the assistant for Providence, who's a mentor to Chris Dunn, told him, hey, enjoy this year, enjoy the accolades, enjoy your teammates, and then go to the NBA. And that's what he's doing. He's a great teammate, and he's enjoying all the success that he's worked on. And another year under his belt has made him stronger, a more well-rounded guard, and I certainly think he's ready to start and run a team on the NBA level.
He's helping Providence to a 13-2 run, taking this 9-point lead. Ryan Fazekas, talented outside shooter that loved to get going. 2 for his last 17 from 3 since coming back from illness.
Georgetown now on the man-to-man. Nice job corralling Chris Dunn on the ball screen. That's the key thing to keep him out of the lane. Good job by the guard play defensively by Smith Rivera.
And that has been an issue, defending the ball screen for Georgetown this year.
Georgetown very patient in the half court. They don't take bad shots. They work the shot clock down, usually to 9 to 10 seconds. And as a defensive team, Providence, you have to be disciplined. You have to make sure you stay behind cutters or under the cutters so you don't get that backdoor cut that Georgetown loves.
Kick ball reset it to 15. Dunn trying to stick with Smith Rivera. Hangs one up and gets his first points.
Well, he's very good at getting in the lane, and that mid-range shot is such a big part of his arsenal. Nice job turning the corner, using his strength to elevate.
Talked about Ryan Fazekas, an outside shooter that's been cold lately. So is Jalen Lindsey, 21 in black, on the floor as well now. Then Bentor puts it on the deck against Derrickson and draws the foul. Georgetown more turnovers than field goals so far, and a 7-point Providence lead as we reach the halfway point of the conference season. Can you believe that? We're almost to February, halfway through the Big East slate.
It flies by, and that tells you how much fun we're having. Obviously, I think now it's a change in importance of these games as we get ready from February to start going into March. A lot of things play in terms of body of work as we get ready for March Madness.
Providence looking good right now, 17-4, some good wins. Losses coming to Seton Hall and Marquette at home, a little bit uncharacteristic. They lost to Michigan State earlier this year on a neutral floor, and then of course the loss on Tuesday against Xavier, nothing to be ashamed of. And Benzel back to the line, 9 points already for the Big East leading scorer. Last year averaged about 6.5 per game. Running away with the most improved player in the conference award.
No question about it. His emergence as a role player last year to a star this year is really, really impressive. He got in the gym and really outworked everybody, and he's reaping the benefits. He's a two-way player and really an impact player with his ability to score inside and out.
Their strength coach, Kenny White, worked really hard with him during the summer. Changed his body, like you mentioned. Different guy here in his sophomore season. Well, the message we got to listen into during the timeout was John Thompson wanted to go inside more. They do right away to Marcus Derrickson.
Well, before that, they were shooting all jump shots, and they were too predictable, and they were one and done. They have the size, and a guy like Derrickson, who's 6'8", 260, used his size to his advantage and scored down low.
Shot clock inside of 10. Bentel off the screen for Cartwright, who pulls up. Copeland up for the rebound. Here's Smith Rivera.
Providence still in that man-to-man, and the matchup of Dunn and Smith Rivera has still been kind of a developing matchup, but keep your eyes on that. That's the one to watch.
Long rebound off of the peak miss, and then a foul on Cartwright as Copeland tracked down the rebound. Be sure not to miss a single Big East basketball game this season. You can add the full schedule to your calendar by going to foxsports.com/Big East TV now. Tomorrow on Fox, Villanova your alma mater, St. John's, down to the Garden. You're going to hustle back and make it time for that game.
I'll be there. I'll be there, and always excited to get a chance to see my alma mater play in Madison Square Garden. That'll be a fun scene with Villanova coming into town.
Caleb Johnson with the ball, freshman, into the game for the first time. Had a big steal and dunk during that comeback win against Creighton Tuesday. Here's Cameron getting space against Bullock, who recovered to get a hand on the shot.
Providence went into a zone on that play. Nice length and extension by Bullock.
And now Peak with the steal, running with Cameron. L.J. Peak takes it inside and can't finish, but Hayes with the follow. Here comes Georgetown.
Well, even though Peak missed the layup, the pace and the fact that they ran the floor, nice job by Hayes following it up. And Georgetown starting to get a little momentum. The crowd getting into it because now they're attacking the rim. They're not just settling for jump shots.
Chris Dunn. Lamamba with 5 to shoot. Junior Lamamba against L.J. Peak. Great defense from Georgetown and a good box out Derrickson. Marcus Derrickson thought about a 3. Instead fed Hayes against Bentel.
That's just too easy. Hayes ducks in and one-on-one coverage over Bentel. It's too easy to get that jump hook. Nice job sealing Bentel to command that ball.
8-1 Georgetown run, and Bullock travels. You mentioned it. They've committed to going inside, and it's working.
But they feel like they have an advantage as we see Peak run the floor and Hayes with the follow-up. But Hayes has really improved from last year. He didn't score at all last year, but now he's a true threat. And when they throw the ball down to him one-on-one, they feel confident he can make that jump hook.
He's got 6. Derrickson wants it inside against Bullock. He's got it. Dropping baseline, drawing the foul.
And the trend continues. Since the last time out, everything Georgetown's done has gone to the rim. They've gotten the message from JT3. Don't settle for jump shots. Use your size. And they clearly have a size advantage. As we see Derrickson, a big body with quick spin, this quick spin baseline. He used his size to overwhelm Bullock and draw that foul.
What was it John Thompson III told us about Marcus Derrickson today? He said he's got to be more than a shooter. I think we've seen him take 1 jump shot, but the rest of that, like you mentioned, has been banging inside.
Well, look at his body. I mean, he is a man among boys, and although he's just a freshman, there's not too many players in the Big East with that kind of strength and that upper body strength. Good to see him use that to his advantage and score down low in the paint.
Georgetown has gone on a 10-1 run to tie the game at 17.
Dunn has been quiet. He's still kind of filling the game out, but he can really erupt quickly and get his team going.
Chris Dunn, acrobatic shot to move over 1,000 for his career.
The ability to split 2 defenders and finish with the left is just part of the reason why he's such an exciting player. Great job by Dunn getting into the gaps and making a play.
And of course, that landmark bucket will be a highlight reel.
Providence in a 1-3-1 here.
How about that from Hayes?
But regardless what they do, man or zone, they've been able to get the ball down low to Hayes. Georgetown has on one-on-one coverage, and he continues to knock down that left-hand jump hook.
8 to lead Georgetown, tied again. The freshman Johnson defending Chris Dunn. Bounced it low for Bentel, who recovered and slammed it home.
The 2-man game between Dunn and Bentel, very hard to stop. And it starts with the penetration and then the great hands by Bentel with the power play.
Hayes got tripled, still throws one up. And Bullock rebounds it. He had about 3 choices on the perimeter wide open. Chris Dunn explodes inside and gets the roll.
So good at getting in the gaps and the length, the extension, and the ability to change direction off of cutting is very, very impressive. Georgetown has to find a way to keep him out of the paint.
He's got 9 now. Closed out on Smith Rivera, prevented the 3. Cameron took it and drilled it.
They want Cameron to stay aggressive and keep the defense honest. That's his second 3 ball. He has to continue to stay aggressive so they can get that inside-out game with Hayes scoring down low.
Through Edwards, the freshman. Wraparound pass for Bullock, who lost it off his leg and out of bounds. Out of the timeout, Georgetown has stormed back into the game. But Chris Dunn over 1,000.
Dunn starting to take over the game, and this is the part of this game that's so impressive, slicing and dicing, getting into the gaps, and so good at finding those seams and finishing. Chris Dunn, the best guard in the country.
Third game in 7 days for Providence. They're unbeaten on the road this season, trying to move to 6-0. Georgetown has won 7 of its last 10 after a 6-5 start, dealing with the top 2 scorers in the conference, and Ben Bentel and Chris Dunn, who have combined for 21 of the 23 points. Let's go over to Tariq Turner, who is with their coach, Ed Cooley.
Coach, you talked about one of the keys to this game, attacking the rim. You're seeing Dunn and Bentil get into the paint. How are you feeling about that development so far?
Well, I like our tempo right now. We got to keep it up. We got to do a better job in transition and locating their three-point shooter. So we want to continue to do that.
And defensively, Hayes has had his way down low with the jump hook. What do you do to slow him down in the middle?
Well, try to prevent him from getting the ball, and hopefully he can't score if he don't have it.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. All right.
I appreciate Coach Cooley. Tariq Turner earned his paycheck. Hustle his way back over to the table to join us. Chris Dunn, Ben Bentel, 1 and 2 in the conference in scoring. Bentel averaging 20 per game. Dunn averaging 17. Look at Tariq Turner. He can still move, although he needs to move a little faster. Here's Smith Rivera, way outside, leaving it short. Bullock up for the rebound. There's Kyron Cartwright on the push. Moving about as quickly as Tariq Turner moved to get back to the scorer's table. I was comparing your speed to Kyron Cartwright up before.
That's a good analogy. I like that. He's a lefty like me, too, so that works.
Smith Rivera penetrating on Bullock. Bouncing for Johnson. Got it blocked. Edwards out of the mess with it. Cross court, Dunn over his head.
Well, sometimes when Providence tries to play fast, they get a little out of control, and turnovers are such a key part of both teams because you want to maximize those possessions. Here, Cartwright just tries to make a play, but just leads Dunn too much.
DSR bounces it right through the baseline. In that pick and roll game with Bradley Hayes.
Well, there just wasn't enough spacing, and Smith Rivera usually makes a good decision off the ball screen, but there he just leaves Hayes too much, and Hayes also has to do a better job of rolling, making himself a target. So it's on both players to make that play happen. Georgetown now showing that little trap on the 2-3 zone. Coach Thompson talked about mixing up their defenses.
That's another Providence turnover. Edwards with a good foul, preventing Johnson from an easy bucket.
And you see the adjustment, and this is part of the chess match between both coaches, switching defenses out of dead ball possessions. Georgetown came out with a more aggressive 2-3 zone, trapped the side, and forced that turnover. Both teams have to be aware when you're on the sideline, you're susceptible to the trap. You have to have an outlet man and a guy to release so you can't have someone to get the ball to.
That is on to the 9th Providence turnover. Mentioned it a bit ago. You're going to be there. We'll be watching on Fox. Historic rivals in the Big East square off. Villanova's first game since losing to Providence on Sunday, having their 22-game conference winning streak snapped. All starts at 11:30 Eastern on your local Fox affiliate. It's sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee.
And I still feel like Villanova is the team to beat. They're the best team in the league, in my opinion, and then Xavier a close second.
Dunn fadeaway, no. Georgetown looking for its first lead since it was 5-3. Smith Rivera on the Hayes screen. Johnson got cut off on the baseline. Here's Hayes way out front. They give him room.
Trying to set up that backdoor pick. Providence not biting.
And Cameron turns it over. Smith Rivera racing back, and Dunn laying it in.
Turnovers are the theme we're seeing in the last few minutes on both teams. live ball turnovers are the worst because they lead to open scoring opportunities. Nice job by Providence using their speed to score off their defense.
Bentel working hard inside the front. Bradley Hayes, that's what Ed Cooley mentioned to you. That hook shot's not effective if he can't get the ball. He gets it off with the offensive rebound, and then his shot is off the mark. Providence off and running. It's Cartwright in the push. Kyron Cartwright banks it in.
Nice job by Cartwright, putting the pressure on the defense, and that's what Coach Cooley told us in the shoot-around this morning. Attack the rim with aggression, make Georgetown stop them, and when they get in transition, that's when they're at their best.
Copeland in and out. Cartwright's got it again, fresh off his first bucket of the game. They get it in the hands of Dunn. Cartwright penetrates, leaves it off for a Bentel slam.
And that's the second time we've seen good zone penetration by Cartwright. That top line of the defense of Georgetown has to do a better job of keeping Cartwright out of the lane because it forces the back guy to step up, leaving Bentel open for a wide open dunk.
14 first half points from Ben Bentel on 6 of 6 from the field. Smith-Rivera with a crossover, whips it for Cameron. His baseline drive results in a reverse layup.
And I like the fact that Cameron didn't settle for the jump shot, attack the basket because he saw a wide open lane.
Backdoor lob, Chris Dunn from Kyron Cartwright. Have mercy.
And that's the exclamation point by Cartwright, seeing the pass and Dunn raging over the top.
And now call for the reach-in on Smith-Rivera. Wow.
Chris Dunn, such a dynamic player. Watch out for the headbanger.
So far, Chris Dunn getting the better of Devontae Smith-Rivera in that great guard matchup. 13 points. Smith-Rivera's only taken 3 shots and has 2. You know, we've been talking about Providence finding a third scoring source. They're still searching for a third scoring source, but Kyron Cartwright making things happen.
Well, so far he is that third guy, and it's not just his scoring, it's his playmaking, his ability to get in the lanes and be another guy to step up and be a distributor. You know what Dunn does, but Cartwright is a second point guard that allows him to play faster and really attack that zone to Georgetown with his ball penetration.
Still, though, 27 of the 31 points for Providence have come from Bentel and Dunn.
You know, ideally, you want a third double-figure scorer if you're Providence. But, again, Cartwright is another guy who really takes some pressure off of Dunn because now you have 2 point guards that can make decisions and control tempo with their ball handling ability.
Chris Dunn gets a rare rest here. Georgetown promptly throws the ball away.
And they tried to get the backdoor cut, and obviously it didn't work. Nice job denying that.
Sorry, 3 coming up in the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. Kevin Burkhardt, Steve Lavin, Donnie Marshall are in the studio to take you through all the day's action. Marquette winning its 3rd in a row. Fazekas for 3. Providence has knocked down all 3 from outside after a 7 for 34 on Tuesday.
And that was a set play, a screen-to-screener play. Fazekas came off a pin down, wide open, got his feet set, knocks it down.
Fazekas was 2 for his last 17 coming in since dealing with a case of mono. As Smith-Rivera hits along 2. Providence has not missed from outside tonight. What a good sign for the Friars.
Well, it's a good sign that Fazekas is knocking down the 3 ball. And he's a guy that stretches the defense and gives them some spacing. Fazekas, such a big part of this bench rotation for Providence. This is just a set play. He comes off a down screen and gets good separation. He cut hard off that screen. Cameron got caught on it, and he knocks it down with the wide open look. This is important for Providence because he's their best perimeter shooter, him and Lindsey.
Here he comes again, around his screen, another 3. This one's well short. Kind of fading away that time.
Yeah, and Georgetown did a better job of getting a hand in his face and really contesting.
Smith-Rivera crosses him up, fires up a line drive that's off the mark. Here's Cartwright. Picked up by Smith-Rivera.
And with this lineup, they like to play Dunn off the ball, especially with the way Cartwright's playing. He's doing a good job of running the offense and being more of a distributor.
Cartwright kicks it outside. Bullock rises. Bentel over the top for the rebound. Into Govan, sweeping through the lane. It's Bullock in the corner. Bullock through contact. Will go to the line for 2 shots. And slowly, we're seeing some other sources start to chip in.
If you're Ed Cooler, you have to be happy with the aggression of your role players. And obviously, Rodney Bullock is their 3rd leading scorer. This is really his first full season in Big East Conference play, so he's had some ups and downs. But so far, he's been active on the glass, 8 rebounds, and also active in terms of attacking the rim.
Okay, one shot,
Providence overall is +7 on the glass against a Georgetown team that has much better size.
They've been quicker to the ball. They've been more aggressive. And they've rebounded with multiple guys, not just Bentil. Obviously, Bullock playing a part in that as well.
The lead back to double figures on this 13-4 Providence run. L.J. Peak works inside and banks it in.
Nice job by Peak, the sophomore coming off the bench. And we talked to JT3 this morning. He said L.J. Peak is starting to settle in and play better off the bench than he did as a starter because he's not picking up those quick early fouls and still playing starters minutes.
It's been a double figures in 3 straight for Georgetown, but a 5-second differential in game and shot. Chris Dunn down the lane, no good. Offensive rebound for Dunn. Somehow he got the rebound on that miss.
Well, that's the second missed rebound opportunity that Jesse Govan had consecutive, and that's a freshman mistake. But the tenacity and the toughness of Chris Dunn, who first gets in the lane, I thought that was a foul there, but then he fouls it up with the offensive rebound. The toughness and the tenacity of this guard is really what separates him from everyone else.
One more coming for Dunn as Govan sits down, replaced by Bradley Hayes. 15 in the first half for Chris Dunn. And he will sit down to avoid picking up his second foul in the final 12 seconds. And rare appearance for Tyree Chambers, sophomore from Germany, onto the floor for the final seconds.
Look for Smith Rivera to do something off a ball screen.
Got it to Peak, then got it right back. Working against Chambers, fresh into the game. Nowhere close on the jumper. Run down in the corner by Lamamba, and heaved to the other end of the floor to bring this half to a close. Providence finishes the half on a 15-6 run to answer that 10-1 Georgetown run. They got the Hoyas back into the game. 29 of the 38 for Providence have come from Dunn and Bentel, who didn't miss during that first half. Halftime in Washington, D.C. Stay tuned. Coming up after the break, it's the FS1 College Hoops Halftime Show. Kevin Burkhardt, Steve Lavin, Donnie Marshall. You're watching Big East basketball on FS1. Back on Big East College Hoops on FS1, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Be ready for anything winter throws at you. We welcome you back. Get you ready for this second half. Joe Davis, Tariq Turner, Chris Dunn, Devontae Smith-Rivera was the matchup we were talking about coming in, and so far Chris Dunn has dominated that matchup.
He has, and he's really started from the beginning of the game, getting into the lane and really controlling tempo by making his presence felt, knocked down a three, and really just scanned the floor, made plays at the rim, was disruptive on the defensive end, and just took over the game the first half. Smith-Rivera, on the other hand, was not as effective, and only 2 of 6 from the field, had really struggled to get his rhythm. Dunn has been able to get out in the open court and really dominate the game with his speed, his penetration ability. To get back in this game for Georgetown, Smith-Rivera has to be more aggressive and more efficient to take the pressure off of Hayes, who did the scoring down low.
Well, there you see it, 15 for Dunn, moved over 1,000 for his career. And only Only 4 for Smith Rivera. Georgetown turns it over on its first possession of this second half. Kyron Cartwright pops and gets fouled.
But that's not the way you want to start up your Georgetown. You turn the ball over, and again, they swarmed Hayes. An adjustment defensively by Providence. They didn't let him get comfortable, and Dunn with the quick hands got that steal, and Cartwright continues to make himself aggressive in the open court.
L.J. Peak whistle for his second foul. Kyron Cartwright, who only had 2 points in that first half, but has 4 assists, has 1 more free throw coming. First half stats, Providence shooting 50%, one game after they shot only 31%, the loss against Xavier. Holding Georgetown below 40% from the field. 0 of 2 from Cartwright.
The most disturbing stat for Georgetown in that first half is they're -9 on the glass. Not rebounding well enough, extra possessions, that's in favor of Providence.
Here's Bradley Hayes at 8 during the first stanza. Working against Bentel. Too strong with a hook shot. The Bullock rebounds. His 9th. Cartwright, teardrop. Bentel tried to tip it in. Peak grabbed the miss.
He gets to start this second half in place of Campbell.
And almost turns it over. Then Hayes gets fouled by Cartwright, who's submarining. Down there by the Georgetown bench. Number 2 on Kyron Cartwright.
It's not a surprise that Peak can start in the second half, Joe, just because in the first half, no one really got in the rhythm. Smith Rivera has not got going yet, and Peak is more of an offensive-minded player than Trey Campbell. And right now, that's what they need most, some offense.
Now, Copeland, who takes the inbound pass, didn't do anything either. Only 2 points for him. His offensive struggles, at least in the scoring category, continue. Here is L.J. Peak. Takes it right into Bentel on a tough finish.
What I like about that is he was determined to get to the rim, kept his dribble off the ball screen, and used his body as a shield to avoid the block shot. Nice job by the sophomore.
I mean, is Providence hurrying the ball up the floor or what?
Well, they want to play fast, and when you have 2 quick guards in Dunn and Cartwright, you can do that.
Bentel, beautiful feed from Bullock.
And that's the high-low action. They worked on that in the shoot-around this morning. That high-low from Bullock to Bentel, who had Hayes sealed. Perfect pass, perfect execution.
So again, we're not seeing a ton of scoring from sources other than Dunn or Bentel, but you're seeing contributions in other ways.
Yeah, we'll see the high-low, and you see it right here. Bentel has his man sealed with the wide open angle, and if you're going to guard that, you have to make sure that you put ball pressure on Bullock and also make it harder for Bentel to get his ball down low.
Kyron Cartwright just picked up his 3rd foul, has to take a seat. Drew Edwards comes in. Cartwright was really allowing them to play with that pace that they were playing with.
And he was, and Dunn was able to play off the ball and be more of a scorer.
Shot clock inside of 10. Junior Lamamba with 3 to shoot. Bullock in the corner. Steps.
And for Georgetown to get back in this game, it's going to have to start on the defensive end, and up to this point, it's just been too easy for Providence in terms of getting the ball where they want down low and also scoring in transition.
Here's Smith Rivera. Reggie Cameron puts it on the deck, has it knocked away. Drew Edwards got his hand on it, and now beats Georgetown back down the floor before getting his shot blocked. Lamamba follows it for his first points, and Providence has its largest lead of the night.
And it starts on the defensive end again. Another forced turnover by Providence. They want to play fast. A nice kick-ahead pass by Dunn allows them to score another transition basket.
Offensive foul. They get Bradley Hayes for number 2.
And Dunn does such a great job of fighting over those picks. He drew that foul on the illegal screen, and so far Providence continues to have the momentum in the early second half.
Yeah, much like the beginning of the game, beginning of the second half, sloppy for Georgetown. 4 turnovers in the first 3 minutes. Our Jeep stat of the game, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee, shows us Bentel and Dunn doing what they've been doing all season. Bentel has hit 7 of his 8 shots for a team-high 16. You know, a former Providence big man, talented one at that, is in the house today. John Thompson played his college ball up in Providence in the early 60s. His number 50 there is retired, hanging in the rafters at the dunk.
Also known as Big John. Had a chance to speak with him before the game, and such a pioneer as a player and as a coach, and obviously a Hall of Famer. He means so much to this game, to the history of the Big East, and had a great career at Providence. Hall of Famer, as you mentioned, played for the Boston Celtics for a number of years, and then we all know what he did as a Georgetown head coach.
Head coach here at Georgetown, 72 through 99. John Thompson III took over in 2004. After 4 seasons at his alma mater, Princeton. Largest lead of the game for Providence. Inside of 10 to shoot. Chris Dunn on a Bentel screen. Dunn stepping outside. Extra pass. Lamamba airballs it into the hands of Hayes. Better defense that time from Georgetown.
What they did well was they kept Dunn out of the paint off the screen and roll. Made him give the ball up.
L.J. Peak halfway down, popped out, rebound Bentel. Providence continues to clean it up on the glass. Here's a lob to the rim that Hayes knocks out.
Coming into the year, talking to Coach Cooley, his biggest concern was their lack of size and whether they'd be able to rebound. Well, they found a way to get through that hurdle, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they have a guard like Dunn at 6'4" that rebounds well, and Bentel, who's really stepped up to be one of the premier bigs in this conference. They have the best 1-2 punch in the league.
You know, they were one of the 5 tallest teams in the country last year. Now they're one of the smallest in the conference. L.J. Peak. Now you have Carson DeRozier's finish his time. Tyler Harris transferred. Pascal Chukwu transferred to Syracuse. That's really what has thrusted Ben Bentel into the 5.
Yeah, and they had to change their style of play, and they actually started to use Dunn in the post this year because of their lack of back-to-the-basket players.
Bentel nearly throws it away. Edwards recovers it from the free throw line. Rebound Trey Campbell. Georgetown trying to chip away. Here's Peak in transition again with back-to-back buckets.
Well, Peak has been active. They're still in the backcourt. Heads-up play by Smith-Rivera, who hung in the backcourt and got the steal. Peak really making his presence felt, getting the start in the second half. Giving him some scoring punch and active in transition. Nice job by the sophomore taking it home.
Providence had extended its lead to a game-high 12, but L.J. Peak starting to get it going for Georgetown. He's got the last 8 for the Hoyas, including all 6 in the second half.
Well, he has the ability to be that second scorer for Georgetown, aside from Smith-Rivera, and so far he's been the primary scorer in the second half, getting the start, as we talked about earlier, Joe, and really attacking the rim. He's the best athlete on this team from the perimeter guys. He has to continue to do that. Well, this Georgetown team came down from 11. They were down 11 versus Creighton a couple days ago with 2.5 minutes left. So they don't have a problem coming from behind.
Yeah, finished that game on a 15-3 run, and Devontae Smith-Rivera, who misses the free throw there, knocked down the game-winning free throws with 6 seconds left.
Obviously, you don't want to come back from a deficit, but certainly this Georgetown team has proven that they can do that, and it starts on the defensive end. The last couple possessions, Providence has been sloppy with the ball, and Georgetown's been more aggressive, picking up a little bit more in full court. Quick hands, forcing some turnovers.
You know what it corresponded with? It corresponded with Cartwright's 3rd foul, him going out. He's back in now.
Good point. And the 2 ball handlers is the best lineup I think that Providence has. The 2 point guards, Cartwright and Dunn. You have 2 guys that make the game easier for your supporting 3 guys.
Fazekas, the sharpshooter, back in the game. Shot clock winding down. Chris Dunn in the move into the lane, has it knocked out of bounds, and the inbound with 1 second.
You have time to get something on the lob, but Dunn attracts 3 guys because he's such a dangerous threat when he gets to the rim. Off the ball screen, you got to collapse on him.
Cartwright lobs it in. Not going to be able to get a shot off there. Here comes Georgetown. Campbell back to Peak against Fazekas. He's got 2 more, and Georgetown is within 5.
And again, another turnover, and Peak has been the catalyst defensively, scoring the last 10 points.
Dunn draws the foul and quiets the crowd for the time being.
The thing about Dunn is you're not going to keep him out of the lane, but what you want to do is make him earn everything. That's a good hard foul to make him earn it on the strike. 1 second left on that possession. Hard to get a shot off, and Georgetown is more aggressive in the passing lanes, and they're looking to push tempo. Peak has done a good job of attacking the rim in transition.
Marcus Derrickson for his first foul. And Chris Dunn to the line. One more coming. Well, tomorrow, Pac-12 battle on FS1. Jordan Matthews leading Cal. Had that big win against Arizona last weekend against Colorado team that's won 4 of 5. Action tips off at 5 Eastern right here on FS1. Live on Fox Sports Go.
Cal, a talented young team, 2 potential first-round picks in Jaylen Brown and Ivan Rabb. Obviously, Colorado with that big man, Josh Scott, one of the top bigs in the country.
7-point game inside of 15 minutes.
See a switching defense by Providence going to 2-3 now. Georgetown hasn't shot the ball particularly well from outside.
Smith-Rivera downtown, got it.
Georgetown has some confidence now. You can see it. They're picking up full court, and Smith-Rivera has to continue to be aggressive. They can't just depend on Peak. They want to get back in this game.
Benzel juggles, loses it off his leg. Georgetown basketball.
Much sharper defensively Georgetown is. They're rotating. Nice job by Derrickson, making it hard with the deflection off of Bentil's leg.
Smith-Rivera working his way inside. Off of the hands of Hayes. It's Peak. Way too strong. Smith-Rivera's there, no. Hayes on the 3rd try with the foul.
It's amazing what confidence does, and this is a buildup of momentum by multiple guys. It started with Peak, now Smith-Rivera is getting involved, and now the big man Hayes picking up where he left off in the first half. Nobody puts a body on him, he makes him pay.
Providence led this game by 12 just a moment ago. Georgetown back to within 1, and this crowd has come alive in D.C. Benzel over Hayes. Big-time bucket for a guy that's turning into a big-time player for Providence.
He's their go-to guy. When they need a basket, their first option is to go down low to Bentil. They love that matchup with him on Hayes. Nice job stealing with the jump hook.
Bullock got his hand on the pass. Hayes recovered it. Here's Smith-Rivera spinning on Dunn. Underneath, finds Peak on the drive, shovels it off, stolen away by Bullock. And Dunn looks to counter for Providence. That's a jump ball, and it will stay on this end.
Well, you want Dunn to stay aggressive. He's looking to push, push, push. And if you don't slow him down, he's going to make you pay because he's either going to score or find someone running the floor to put them in scoring position.
Fazekas open out of the corner, but stepped on the sideline.
Well, this second half has been uncharacteristic of the Friars in terms of taking care of the ball, unforced turnovers, sloppy play. And Georgetown is taking advantage of that.
13-4 run for the Hoyas, taking advantage of 6 second-half turnovers from the Friars. Cartwright working hard defensively on Peak. Smith-Rivera against Dunn. DSR, tough shot, got the roll.
Smith-Rivera starting to look for a shot more, and that's a good sign. The senior guard, when he's aggressive, the entire team feeds off his energy. Nice job attacking Dunn with the offense. Georgetown doing a much better job of keeping Dunn out of the lane.
That's the goaltending. Count the bucket. And Kyron Cartwright will head to the line. And they've actually waved the shot off.
Not sure about that. That looked like that should have been a goaltend and one play.
Yeah, they're saying it was on the
replay. We didn't get a chance to see the foul. If they're saying the foul was on the floor before the shot was off,
yep.
I don't know about that.
I'm with you. LJ Peak sits down to a good hand, put a jolt into this crowd, and help bring Georgetown back into the game.
Georgetown continues to switch their defense. Out of bounds. They're going 2-3. Bullock and Bento looking to screen the top of that zone.
Cartwright over Hayes, off the iron. Bullock took it away and finished with a foul.
Well, he's been huge on the glass. I believe that's his 10th rebound. And he came from the weak side. Nobody puts a body on him. Nice job by the sophomore making his presence felt. And he seems to be that third guy stepping up that Coach Cooley talked about. Smith-Rivera just passes the 1,000, just breaks into the 10-point, the all-time leading scoring mark for Georgetown. And here was just a nice hesitation move, using his upper body strength to get that basket in over Chris Dunn. And when he's aggressive, the Georgetown team feeds off his energy. He's a premier guard, one of the best guards in the league, and he has to continue to carry that load offensively for Georgetown to come out with a W.
It's such a young group. They've got 3 freshmen, 4 sophomores that see significant minutes. This guy's the leader, though. Like you said, they're at their best when he's assertive.
We talked to JT3 this morning at the shoot-around, and he said, hey, we need him to be more aggressive early on in the game. Earlier in the season, he was deferring, kind of getting his teammates involved, but that hadn't worked as well as they planned. Now he's starting to look for his shot more and still be a distributor.
Rodney Bullock, who hits above 70% at the line in this season, is 2 for 5 tonight. And it remains a 3-point game with 11 and a half left.
Providence using that 2-3 zone with the extension up front is almost like a matchup zone.
Smith-Rivera has it knocked away. Chris Dunn and Bullock combine in the steal. Dunn blocked from behind by Smith-Rivera.
Great, that was a game. That was a save play. Nice save by Smith-Rivera. With the block, and turnovers have been a key theme for both teams. Especially when you're around Chris Dunn, you know he's going to be looking to strip you with his quick hands.
19 total between the two teams. Or 29 total. Good math.
Watch for the screen at the top of the zone. It's kind of a drag screen versus that top of the 2-3. They're trying to find a crack or seam for Dunn to get into the lane. In the high post area, another good place to enter the ball versus the zone.
Bento, face-up jump shot. Vazika's there to rebound it. Shot clock never reset. Chris Dunn off the back iron. Bullock with another rebound. He's got 11 of those.
Those long rebounds, you're more susceptible to giving up the offensive rebound versus with the zone, the 2-3. That's the risk you take.
Vazika's running the baseline, trying to get free. It opens up Bullock. Dunn tries again. This time he knocks it down.
Great ball movement, and Dunn very comfortable tonight with that 3-point shot from the top of the key.
He's got 20 now to lead all scorers. Trey Campbell's floater is an air ball and tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Georgetown. How about the ball movement to set this thing up?
That's the way you attack the zone. You play inside out. You cause the defense to collapse. Nice job by Bullock, putting the pressure on the interior guys of Georgetown with the kick-out pass to Dunn.
So he and Bento have combined for 38. Providence's 51 points tonight. The last three came after 3 offensive rebounds for the Friars, dominating on the glass tonight. Dunn given room, knocks down the 18-footer.
And that's a set play. They want to get an ISO with Dunn at the top of the key off the screen. He's in rhythm, and he's not a great jump shooter, but when he's knocking down his jump shot, he's lethal because you know he can get to the rim already.
Smith Rivera, nice up fake to get the defender to go by, but then an air ball. Knocked out of bounds by Providence. Ball never hit the rim, so the Hoyles will unbound with 17 to shoot.
Providence starting to get a little bit more of a cushion because they've gotten 2 or 3 good looks offensively. Still feel like Smith Rivera has to continue to assert himself, Joe, and we're starting to see a little bit more aggressiveness out of him.
Here he is working inside, turning it over. Fazekas comes up with a steal, and then nearly turns it right back to Smith Rivera. Dunn feeds it inside for Bullock. Fazekas launches in and out, and last touched by Providence. Now Providence playing its 3rd game in 7 days, trying to stay near the top of the Big East standings. Georgetown can get tied with Xavier for 2nd, 1 game behind Villanova. And more importantly for the Hoyas, can boost that NCAA tournament resume with a win tonight.
No question, it would definitely help. They have a small margin for error because of some non-conference losses early in the year to Radford, UNC Asheville. But this is the life of the Big East. There's no gimme games, no question about it.
LJ Peak is giving Georgetown a boost. Smith Rivera works to the elbow. Derrickson a spot up 3. Hayes has the rebound, and he's fouled.
He's awfully hard to block out Hayes at 6'11", 7 feet. Strong 2-hand rebound. Giving him an extra possession.
9 boards for Hayes now. 1 away from a double-double. LJ Peak with a shot fake. Bentel went straight up, knocked out of bounds. And it'll stay on this end with a full shot clock.
This Georgetown team, very patient in their offense, but I also think the fact that they're not settling for jump shots and getting into the paint has helped them. Big time shot. He gets into that crack and really shows a nice touch over the top, avoids the block shot, and Smith Rivera is better going to the basket than the standstill jump shots. At least tonight he is.
He's got a dozen. Back to a 6-point game. Bentel bodying up on Derrickson, who went straight up and forced the short hook shot. Derrickson steps into a 3.
That's a good sign for the freshman. Talented inside-out player, has the stroke and the presence of mind to knock down a deep 3.
It's Bullock getting fouled. And Bullock will head to the line for 2 shots on the other side of the break. Big-time 3 from the freshman Derrickson.
Well, we talked about the freshman stepping up. Well, this is one of their key guys, knocking down one from deep.
Providence led by as many as 12. Georgetown hanging around within 3. Let's go inside that Providence tunnel.
Hey, keep playing with our energy. Here's the other thing, man. Here's the other thing. Make sure that we're passionate about defense. Get in the gaps, no personnel, but be passionate about getting 1 stop at a time. All right? 1 stop at a time. Hey, love one another up in the huddle. Don't let the noise bother us. Keep playing to our identity, speed and toughness. I love you guys. Keep doing it. I love you guys. Let's go. All right.
That's great. I mean, you can see the passion right there. You talk about players playing to their identity. Well, it comes from the coach, and that's his personality, passion, and intensity and togetherness, and also the focus on the road, hostile environment, noise, distractions, block it all out, keep a one-track mind and focus on the defensive end, getting the stop.
5-0 on the road this season. Last road game, they knocked off a top 10 team in Villanova just 6 days ago. Rodney Bullock goes to the line where he has struggled tonight. So the scoring number is not great for him. He's got 7 now, but he's got 11 rebounds. He's got 3 assists.
He's been active, and he's been aggressive going to the basket. You know, they're closing out on him and giving him angles, and he's taking advantage of it, getting to the rim. That's what Coach Cooley wants from him, to be a threat so they don't just key on Dunn and Bentil all game.
5.5 left, or 7.5 left in a 5-point game. Here's Hayes. Pretend to shoot DSR. Devontae Smith-Rivera whips it inside for Hayes. Turnaround hook, no, and Bentil tears down the rebound. Here comes Chris Dunn. Good job of transition defense from Georgetown.
They're packing, they're making a wall defensively. Georgetown is to keep those angles away from Dunn, who's so good at finding the crack. That's the best way to keep him out of the lane. You have to corral him and load up in the box with the second line of defense.
Dunn goes by Copeland, fades on Hayes, and can't get the roll.
Ball screen defense of Providence is...
Derrickson, no. Rebound Cartwright.
It's been better with Smith-Rivera. They're hedging high to keep him from getting in the lane.
Lamamba threads one for Dunn. What a pass, Lamamba. And a nice finish for Chris Dunn, who's got a game-high 24.
Dunn had snuck behind the defense and was able to get a wide-open angle. He's been aggressive scoring the ball, Dunn.
Peak adjusted baseline and got fouled in the act of shooting. LJ peaked to the line for 2. Cartwright flying into this rebound.
He's been another guy that's been big tonight in terms of making his presence felt. His pace, his ability to use his speed and get the team to play fast is the way Providence wants to play. It doesn't just have to start with Dunn. Cartwright, another point guard that gives them that tempo. He sets the table.
But he just picked up his 4th foul. And with 5:59 to go, nobody coming to the scores table. Looks like Cooley will let him stay in there with those 4.
Well, it's a gamble, but they're better with Cartwright and Dunn in the game, especially with the turnover situation. It takes some pressure off of Dunn as well, where he doesn't have to run the offense as much.
Lamamba sweeping through the lane. That's a travel.
That was a James Harden Euro step.
Yeah, except by Junior Lamamba.
By Junior Lamamba. A little different.
Size advantage inside for Caleb Johnson, was working against Cartwright. He instead popped out. Derrickson looked like he maybe got fouled, but no call. Here's Dunn, feeling his way inside. Out to Bullock. Cartwright. Bentil. Facing up on Hayes. Back to Cartwright. Now the ball in the hands of Dunn against Smith-Rivera.
This is one of his most dangerous. The side ball screen. Let's see how they play it.
It's Bullock stepping out.
It was well played. They made Dunn give the ball up, and a nice contest.
Hayes, good deep positioning.
He's been great tonight. He's gotten many attempts from 5 feet in, and he's just too big, too strong. When he seals down low, if they don't double him, he's had his way down low with the jump hook.
Double-double, 14 and 10. Dunn has it knocked away. Down to the floor to get it. It's Cartwright. Backdoor left for Bentil, who's fouled.
What a heads-up play by Cartwright with the shot clock winding down. A little bit of a gamble to throw that lob, but it started with Dunn recovering the loose ball, keeping it alive. Almost a tie ball, but Cartwright gets that ball and puts it right near the rim for a lob. Nice job.
And 2 shots for Bentel, who is their best foul shooter.
The crowd not happy because they thought there was a foul on the other end with Derrickson on the backdoor cut, and there was a lot of contact. Providence got away with one there, but nice job again by Bentil, going up strong, attacking the rim. That's what Coach Cooley wants out of him versus a shot-blocking team like Georgetown.
The crowd also coming off back-to-back games where they felt like there were some calls that did not go their way. Still feeling the sting of those. 5-point game nearing the 4-minute mark.
This is when the matchup of Smith-Rivera and Dunn gets interesting.
And Dunn comes up with a steal before Smith-Rivera fouls him.
The quickness and the quick hands by Dunn, the second in the country in steals, Big East leader in steals. His length, his ability to fight over the top and make Smith-Rivera use the ball screen. That was part of the scouting report for Smith-Rivera. Don't let him reject the ball screen. Make him use it. Stay low. And the quick hands of Dunn, who's done a great job of guarding on the ball.
LJP comes in. Caleb Johnson sits down. And Chris Dunn goes to the line for a 1-and-1.
Such a talented point guard and floor leader.
25 for the junior from New London, Connecticut.
When I talked to the coaching staff earlier in the season about Chris Dunn, they said the thing that they love about him is he is enjoying this season in the moment in terms of knowing he's going to the NBA next year, but he's still in the moment. He's a great teammate, and he's really reaping all the benefits of all the hard work he put in over the summer. And you see the improvement in his overall game.
Marcus Derrickson against Bullock. Turnaround, tough shot, got it.
He's versatile. I mean, we've seen the inside game, the outside game. When he gets the guy on his hip like Bullock, who's smaller and not as strong, he makes you pay with that nice turnaround jump shot.
Bentel the screen, Dunn the kick, Bullock the up fake, and the drive with a foul.
Well, we've seen him do that numerous times. Rodney Bullock has been aggressive all game, attacking the basket, giving him that third threat on the offensive end.
Go, Friars up by 4. Chris Dunn with 25 to lead all scorers. Bentel not far behind, right at his average at 20. And Devontae Smith-Rivera has started to be more assertive in the last several minutes.
He has, and he has to continue that for Georgetown to stay in this game. 3.5 minutes left. That matchup is what we look forward to when it's starting to heat up. So far, Dunn's winning the battle with 25 points, and defensively, he just causes so much havoc with those quick hands.
Rodney Bullock took it hard to the rack and drew the foul. There's one more free throw coming.
When we talked to Coach Cooley about Rodney Bullock, and here's a kid who's a redshirt sophomore. Last year he got hurt. So this is really his first full year of Big East competition. Started out the Big East with 25 points, 10 rebounds versus Butler, and then he's been up and down. I think tonight could be a breakout game for him in terms of scoring the ball again the way they need him to.
He's into double figures, first time in 2 games somebody besides Dunn or Bentel has reached double figure scoring. 6-point game, 3:05 to go.
Dunn is all over Smith-Rivera, denying him the ball, will not let him get it.
And so it's Campbell feeding Hayes. 5 on the shot clock against Bentel. Passes it up. He launches and leaves it short. Providence forces the shot clock violation, denying Chris Dunn the ball.
Big time stop by Providence, and it started with the ball denial by Chris Dunn.
Up Chris Dunn, yeah. Up Smith-Rivera.
Absolutely. No, that was it. And, you know, that's another example of the defensive ability of Dunn and his length his quickness and his ability to guard without fouling. Smith Rivera has to find a way to get that ball.
And Smith Rivera takes a seat here with 2:40 to go. Elton Johnson comes in, had a big steal and breakaway dunk, and the come from behind win on Tuesday. Bentel has it knocked away with 10 to shoot. They'll inbound here.
Providence out of timeouts loves to get the ball down low off a cross screen, and that's going to Bentel. They didn't get the shot off, but good look with the cross screen action.
Shot clock winding down. Dunn for Cartwright out of the corner. That's a three for Kyron Cartwright. And a timeout taken.
And he's been huge tonight, complimenting Dunn and giving them another score from the perimeter. Great pull and kick by Dunn for the assist. This last play was huge for Providence to get some separation, and it starts by the ball penetration by Dunn, who gets in the gaps and draws 3 defenders, leaving Cartwright wide open. Once he gets in the gap, you see the attention he converts or causes, and Cartwright wide open with the 3 ball.
Georgetown trying to do what it did on Tuesday, that is come from behind in the final minutes, finish the game on a 15-3 run to beat Creighton by 1. Smith Rivera had a large hand in that. On the drive to the rim, can't get it. Bullock with a rebound.
And another great job defensively. That time they forced Rivera away from the screen and built a wall. Dunn's length and his quickness has really bothered Smith Rivera, forced him to take some tough shots.
Time becoming a factor. The lead is 9 for Providence. Here's Dunn. Bentel. Got blocked out of bounds. And last touch by Providence. So Georgetown gets a stop. Gets it back with 1:39.
That was well played by Georgetown. That 2-man game is usually their bread and butter for Providence, the screen and roll action. Get the piece of the block shot on Bentel, and Warriors get another possession.
Who's it going to be for Georgetown?
Well, it has to be this man. I mean, he has to find a way to make plays.
And he does with a foul on Bentel.
That's a good sign. The senior guard has been quiet the last few minutes, but here he gets into the gaps off the ball screen and gets ahead of steam going downhill. Nice job taking the contact with the finish.
10 of his 14 have come in the second half. Three-point play makes it a 6-point game, and they put on the press, which gave Creighton fits Tuesday night.
The press is not to steal the ball, it's to work some clock. So when Providence gets the ball in the half court,
that's a tie-up that sends it back to Georgetown.
Well, they'll take the turnover when they can get it. Nice trap by Johnson and Peak. And Bullock, a sophomore mistake by the sophomore. You never want to pick the dribble up around half court.
Peak and Johnson with the defense. Ed Cooley couldn't believe it. 1:21 in a 6-point game. Can Georgetown do it again coming from behind in the final minutes? Smith Rivera. Stop and start against Dunn. Had it knocked away, and Bullock's got it. Bentel smartly pulls it out. And they foul Kyron Cartwright with 1:03.
I tell you, we will not see better one-on-one defense on the ball than what we just saw by Dunn. His length, his quick feet, his ability to stay in front of Rivera and get a piece of that ball shows why he's an elite defender. He's not just an offensive player. Watch his foot speed. Watch his hands. His ability to get in front of Smith Rivera, cut off his angle, and then finish it with a block shot. Exceptional defense by this point guard.
Timeout taken by Georgetown after Cartwright cans the first free throw. You're talking about those quick hands, everything Dunn does defensively.
Well, I consider him an elite defender because he has the length to disrupt and move his feet without fouling. And the amount of deflections he gets, I mean, if they kept a stat on the deflections, he'd probably have double-figure deflections each game. because he's 6'4" with a 6'7" wingspan, quick feet, and a tenacity to just guard and stop his man. He's taking this challenge to stop Smith-Rivera.
He's got 4 steals tonight. Providence into the double bonus. Chris Dunn, 25 points to lead all scorers. In addition to the defense, in addition to creating for his teammates. Reigning co-player of the year in the Big East. Shared it with Ryan Arcidiacono of Villanova last year. One of the lead candidates again this year. One of the lead candidates for National Player of the Year.
You look at point guards throughout the country, and certainly Chris Dunn is the best point guard in the country, no question about it. Morris out of Iowa State is another guy that stands out. Gary Payton Jr. out of Oregon State, another big guard. Demetrius Jackson in Notre Dame, and Marcus Page at Carolina, some others that stand out. But to me, Dunn is the premier point guard in the country.
Up the road, Melo Trimble is on the phone
Trimble
for you.
as well, absolutely.
Yeah. 1 of 2 for Cartwright. Georgetown running to the time, down 7. Again, it's Dunn getting his hand on the ball. Shot clock inside of 10, and L.J. Peak fouled on the floor, so he'll shoot 1 and 1.
Georgetown is a little out of sync offensively, and down 7 with 40 seconds to go. You don't have time to work too much time off the clock. Smith-Rivera picked up his dribble, had to give it up. And then Peak was able to make something happen off the dribble. But obviously, if Peak can make these foul shots, you're going to see full court pressure again. And then it's going to come down to foul shots and whether Providence can take care of the basketball.
Some OD substitutions for JT3. Caleb Johnson and Ryan Williams both come in. Peak, who has made both free throws tonight, earns another.
This is when you want to have your 2 ball handlers, Chris Dunn and Cartwright. With the ball in their hands.
Bullock gets it into Dunn, who splits the defense. And Chris Dunn gets fouled with 36 seconds remaining.
This is who you want to have the ball. He shoots 67% from the stripe. But tonight, he's been on point. 7 of 8, as you see right there. And if there is a weakness in Dunn's game, the foul shooting can improve, and the consistency from the jump shot.
Well short on the first one. Cameron comes in, Derrickson comes in, again replacing defense with offense. One of 2.
2-possession game now. You need to get the ball up quick. You don't need a 3, but certainly it would help. You want the best available shot.
L.J. Peak plus the foul. Didn't need a 3, but a chance to get it the old-fashioned way, to get to within 3 with 30 seconds.
Great job by Peak, taking what the defense gave him, and a horrible job by Providence, giving up a potential 3-point play. If you're going to foul him, don't let him get the shot off. Make him earn it from the stripe.
And a timeout taken by Ed Cooley. Providence trying to hang on, but Georgetown just will not go away. They trail by 11 with 2.5 to go on Tuesday against Creighton. They finished that game on a 15-3 run to win 74-73. And today trying to overcome Chris Dunn, who's got 26 to lead all scorers.
Well, he's been dominant the entire game, whether it's shooting the 3, getting to the paint, attacking the rim, disruptive on the defensive end. We've seen the whole package from the best point guard in the country. And this is why, to me, he's the top 5 pick in the draft.
So free throw here with a chance to bring him to within a possession. L.J. Peak has been so big for Georgetown in this second half. Scored the first 8 points of the second half for him, with him trailing by as many as 12. 14 of his 16 points have come here in the second.
Plenty of time. A 1-possession game, and you see the full court pressure here. Starts with getting the ball in bounds, and then
They do to Benzel and have a 2-on-1 if they want it. Instead, Benzel will draw the foul. Head to the line for 2.
If you're Ed Cooley, this is who you want on the foul line. Bentil, best foul shooter at 87%. The Big East play.
Fifth consecutive game of at least 20 points. The sophomore, originally from Ghana. Moved to the U.S. when he was 15 years old. Moved to Philly and over to Delaware. Went on to Providence, where he is one of the most improved players in the country. He's made it a 2-possession game again.
You see how hard this young man works in the offseason. One of the first guys on the court in practice and one of the last to leave. Done a tremendous job with his body, his explosiveness, his versatility, shooting the 3, and also being a power guy down low. Huge jump from his freshman to sophomore year.
5 of 6 from the line tonight. 5-point lead. Smith Rivera. Here's Campbell. Now Derrickson. Peak fires. That ball might have been deflected. Last touch by Providence with 14 seconds.
Looked like it was deflected.
John Thompson III uses his final timeout.
Round 5, Georgetown. Not much time to get a shot off, but obviously you want to take the first available possession, first available shot, first one to get the ball in bounds. But if you're Providence, no need to foul here. You just want to be solid. You have a 2-possession lead right now. Make them earn it from the strike.
For those of you looking for the Monster Energy Supercross from Oakland, the beyond when this game finishes. Right now, you can catch all the racing action on Fox Sports Go. Only 14 ticks left in regulation here in D.C. Providence trying to move to 6-0 on the road this year. Georgetown will need to pull off a miracle in the final seconds. They get its second come-from-behind win in the final minutes this week. Still searching for those wins that would boost that tournament resume.
We're at the time of the year, Joe, at the beginning of February, where everything matters a little bit more because you're getting closer to March. Your body of work, your RPI, your strength of schedule, your conference record, it all factors in even more now. For Georgetown, it's desperation time as you look at their profile right there. 13-8, a couple bad losses early which set them back. They got back on track during conference play, but the early stretch of the season really made the pressure even higher for them.
Yep, having to make up for those bad losses to Radford, UNC Asheville. 14-point 3, peak to inbound, finds Cameron, who's back to peak with a baseline drive. Able to finish with 10 seconds, and they'll set up the press up 3, or down 3. And a foul before it's inbounded. They're going to give Marcus Derrickson.
It's not necessarily a bad foul for Georgetown because no time went off. It's a 1-possession game, and now it comes down to foul shooting. I believe it's Dunn that's going to be shooting the bonus.
Will be 2 shots.
It's Bentil, actually.
Yep. And Bentil, who's the guy that they would prefer to be there at the line. Trying to make it a 2-possession game again. And does.
He's been huge all night. Clutch. With his foul shooting, and him and Dunn continue to prove that they're one of the best 1-2 packages, not only in the conference, but in the country.
They've combined for 50 tonight. 26 for Dunn, 24 for Bentil. Smith Rivera with a step-back 3. Got it with 4 seconds. It's a 2-point game.
This game's not over. That's a huge shot. Providence is going to have to, one, get the ball in and make some foul shots again.
They got it into the guy they want. Benzel heads back there for 2 shots, trying to seal the deal with 3.2.
Obviously, if you're Providence, you want Benzel to make both foul shots. But if he doesn't, 3.2 seconds is more than enough time to get off a clean look. Look for some full court pressure or some kind of 3/4 court pressure by Providence. Just because you don't want to give Georgetown a clean look to get this ball up the court and tie it up possibly.
Calmly sinks the first and trying to put it away with one more for Ed Cooley.
Ice water in his veins.
Symbolic of this season. Dunn and Benzel both with 26. Smith-Rivera throws it up, no good, and Providence comes on the road and beats Georgetown 73-69 to keep pace in the Big East standings. Providence and Georgetown both locked at 6-3 now. 1 game behind Xavier, all alone in second. Everybody chasing Villanova. For Tariq Turner, Joe Davis saying so long from Washington, D.C. Now we send it a Monster Energy Supercross in Oakland.